G'day everyone, welcome to this photography tip. Today I thought we'd quickly cover the graduated filter tool in Lightroom. So let's open up an image and have a look. So this image here, quite often with landscape photos you'll get a really bright sky and a dark foreground. So the big difference in dynamic range. So Lightroom has a pretty cool little tool where you can actually apply like a graduated filter to certain sections of your image. So let's have a look at this image and see what we can do with it. To do that we need to be in the develop module, so you can click develop or D for develop on your keyboard. I've actually made some adjustments to this image, so I'm just going to reset that. So there we go. So you can see there that straight out of the camera you've got nice pretty dark foreground and blown out sky. On this occasion I didn't have my filters with me, so I normally try and use actual physical filters on the front of my lens to remove that bright sky and bring out more detail in the foreground. So I'm actually a case filters ambassador for Australia, so if you're interested in some physical landscape photography filters, get in contact, and they have some fantastic landscape photography kits that really help improve your photography, especially in situations like this. But as I said, on this occasion, occasionally you go out and you forget your filters because they're still at home. So all you've got to do is sort of push your image as much as you can in your histogram to the right. You will still get, partly blown out bits and lack of detail in your foreground, but you can actually sort of recover a fair bit of that in Lightroom, even more so if you're shooting RAW files, which generally, if you get to this stage, you're generally shooting RAW by using Lightroom. So how we do that, we're in the develop mode here. So our little graduated filters, if you get this little toolbar at the top here, it's the third one from the right. So, and then we come over here, we've got graduated filter. M is the shortcut, so you can hit M or click on the little icon, and that brings up this screen. Occasionally you get these little adjustments come up, so you can just double click those to reset everything back to the center. So this is our graduated filter, all the sliders that we can apply to that. Now if I move the mouse over onto the image, you see you've got this little cross. So if I hold that at the top of the image and then drag it down, click and drag, you can see it brings that filter down. So here what's going to get affected is everything above that center line. So from there up in that top area of the image, that's the only bit that's going to get affected. So everything below that line will stay the same. So you can see that now I've put that middle line right on the horizon. You can actually move these around as well to suit whatever you want to do. And you can actually drag it down. So even though the line is below the top of the image, it still affects everything above the line. So it doesn't matter where your top line is. You just got to make sure you get the middle line where you want it. So you can see there by that quick adjustment, just drop the exposure on the sky. You can see there it's made a significant difference, to the appeal of the image just by reducing all those blown out highlights. You can also just do highlights only like that, and you can also do shadows if there's shadow areas, and other things. Like another good one is dehaze, so you can add a bit more contrast in your sky by using dehaze as well. They're the main ones that I use, dehaze and the highlights, they're the main ones that I want to change. But you've got all these other ones as well. If you want to reset any of these, you can just double click on the on the little sliders there, and they just reset to 0. I'll just take those back. So once you're finished there, you can just hit done. Now if you did want to go back in and change that that filter, you can just click on the graduated filter tool again, and you see you've got this little icon. You just click on that, and it actually shows you there briefly the area that was affected. So you can click on that, and then you can readjust and then just go done again. So there you go, we've dropped the exposure in the sky there a fair bit. Now the other thing you can do is you can just add another one. So this time you can actually drag from the bottom. So what I'll do now is I'll drag this up like that. So remember, everything below this line is going to be affected, anything below that center line. So what we can do is we can actually increase exposure. This time we can drop highlight still, which drops that, that bright area in the middle there, so we can sort of get rid of that. And we can increase shadows as well. So you can make some pretty good adjustments there, a bit of clarity. Maybe a little bit more exposure just to bring out the detail on those rocks. So yeah, again, you can make the adjustments from the bottom as well as the top. If you did have side light coming in from the side, you can actually drag a graduated filter from the side as well. So you can pretty much do whatever you want. So you can see there, that's made a fairly significant change to that photo. If we look at before and after, there's before and there's after. So yeah, pretty big difference just by adding a couple of graduated filters. It's a pretty cool tool that I use it occasionally, even on photos that I have used my landscape filters. Generally don't have to do that, but yeah, you can make like minor adjustments with that tool as well. So yeah, very cool little tool for editing your photos. Hope you enjoy that tip. I'll catch you next time. Cheers.